got a chance to see Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley in the new film, The Substance. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. And yes, we just got something in. We got the new edition of Lords of LA. This is my test copy, issue number 2. I did find a couple of errors in here, so before I go to run, I always like to read it over one more time. But the artwork in here is pretty good, and we get to see some Werepanther and action. This is my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood, and it's lots of fun. So if you want a copy of that, let me know before we go to print. Also, I am a board game designer, and Mark Spears, who does a lot of covers for Marvel and DC and Spawn and Vampirella, etc. We did a classic Monsters card game that's going to be launching on Kickstarter on October 1st through the 31st, just in time for Halloween. So definitely check that out. The description below has a link to Kickstarter where you can just sign up and be notified about when we launch. And it will be coming with little figures of Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, stuff to that effect. It's quite fun. Anyway, check that out in the link in the description below. All right, so let's jump into talking about The Substance. So I like Demi Moore. I met Demi Moore when she was with Ashton Kutcher at a black box play in Hollywood. So she was shorter than I thought she'd be, too. But and she didn't have any heels on at the time either, so that may have affected it. And, of course, Ashton Kutcher is, towering. So it's a big height difference between the two of them. But this, we're also the reason, of course, I always support independent film, and I also support Demi Moore, and Dennis Quaid is in this also. I'd like to support him, especially after him coming off Reagan and things to that effect. It's good to see him, working in his 60s. It's great. And Demi Moore here looks great at 60 also. And Margaret Qualley, who hasn't even passed 30, is also great in here. There's tons of nudity in here and tons of gore. So it is a body horror picture. So if that disturbs you, then you're probably not going to like this film. But again, I tell you, at 60 years old, Demi Moore looks phenomenal. This doesn't shy away from anything. These two women really had to give it their all on screen. I mean, they had to have no qualms about anything about standing completely naked, full frontal nudity in front of a crew, even if they had a limited crew for those days of which there was nudity. There was still probably 30 people in the room. So it's great that they could do that kind of thing, and especially with a female director. This was written and directed by Carolee Farragut. She is French. She's a French filmmaker. I've never seen anything she's ever done. And Margaret Qualley, she's done some high-profile stuff recently. She was in Poor Things, and just the ending where she was like the new baby, if you've seen the film. And she was also in Drive Away Dolls, and she's done some other stuff as well. She was also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, again, a small role there. So this was probably, Drive Away Dolls, she was the star. And here she was a star. So she's starting to elevate, although, with the two films that she did, they were both, lower budget films. This was a production budget of $17 million. I doubt they spent any money on marketing. I never even heard of these production companies before. Even at $17 million, this thing's got to make $30-something million. And 35 to 40 million, and I just don't see that happening with this. But the makeup effects are phenomenal. Whoever did the makeup effects on this needs an Oscar. I mean, they did an incredible job. They did close-ups on this stuff, and for to do those kind of makeup effects and make it look good, especially with close-ups, without a whole lot of darkness all over the place, it's incredible. So let me just go into the plot real quick. I'm not really going to do any spoilers because the movie's just weird. It has a really good premise. I will give you that. It has a good premise, but it has holes. That's why I can't imagine why this one for best screenplay is beyond me. Because the screenplay has so many holes that it just does not even try to close up. And it could have been closed up pretty easily in some degree. So the storyline is about Demi Moore, who is an aging actress in Hollywood to the point where she's being discarded because of her age. And, she no longer has the sex appeal. She has a dwindling beauty, all those things, to the point where she is discarded off the aerobic show that she is doing. She gets invited by a medical guy to this experimental program, of which I do not think she pays for. I've never seen in the film, you never see her pay for anything. She's just invited to this thing. You give yourself, and that's the other problem with this, is she's never really given any direction about how to do the things that she does. She just immediately, instinctually knows how to do some of this stuff. Because when I saw the pieces, I'm like, how does this even work? And, if there was a video or something to that effect, then I could understand. But there was never any instruction. It just says when to do it, but it doesn't say how to do it. So she's given like these huge syringes and things like that, and a thing to fill up for the days. But again, you never knew. She just instinctively knew that she had to put it in the girl's back. I don't know where that came from. So that was confusing. So then on top of that, the storyline is that she takes this drug, and literally a younger version of herself comes out of her back. She basically gives birth to the younger version of herself through her back. Logically, that doesn't make any sense. I can understand, there is a lot of correlation here, where she basically took the idea from a combination of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Picture of Dorian Gray. If you look at both of those combined, that's what this film is. And I like that. But again, this younger version of herself goes out and gets the job of what she was released from. So the question is, the company never gave her a new identification. How was she getting paid? She had no social security number. She had no nothing. I don't understand how that even worked. But again, it could have easily been fixed by the company saying we've created a new ID and everything else, since it was a very mysterious corporation anyway, that it could have created this identification for the new version of Demi Moore that was called Sue. Then, she has to take, I guess, enzyme or whatever else out of Demi Moore's back. So when they switch places, the other version, which she just leaves on the floor, I don't know. It was very strange. So the mind goes into the other body back and forth. Every 7 days she has to change back. And then, of course, there's some mishaps that happen. Again, I'm not going to go into any spoilers here. But that's the basic plot. And her dream is to be, famous, of which she is, because the whole beginning piece, and it's directed very well in pieces. Like, she had a very clear vision of some of the imagery she wanted to use. Like, she used the creation of the Hollywood star, right? And at one piece it has snow on it. There doesn't snow in Hollywood, man. I don't know what she was thinking there. And the Hollywood stars are not clean, man. She does show the cracks, but there's so many people walking on that thing. It does show somebody like dropping a hamburger on it. And then, of course it gets cleaned, nightly or whatever. But I mean, people walk on it, so it's dirty. I mean, it never gets dirty. Ever. It gets crashed, but never gets dirty. So, yeah, again, major problems with some of this stuff. But the film, it should have ended 15 to 20 minutes before it does. The last 15 to 20 minutes of the film destroy the film completely. Just demolish it. To the point where it just keeps going and you're just sitting there saying, when's this going to end? What is going on here? It just gets so absurd that you're just like cringing, going, well, why? Why are you having this continue? I know you were trying to make some kind of a point here, but it is lost. It is lost in absurdity. And I really just wanted to walk out by the end. So I liked, both actresses do a great job. They are given very hard material to do, and both of them really shine. Demi Moore specifically really took this part and ran with it. But again, the writer-director did not know how to end this thing. She just took it in a direction that just did not work. It did not stick the landing. And when a film doesn't stick the landing, I tell everybody that's, in the film industry that likes to write and stuff like that, and wants to be a writer, that the end is what people remember when they leave. You could have the best film in existence, and then the end, you not stick the ending or not stick the landing for the ending, and the whole movie is ruined, and that's exactly how this is. I thought there was some really good stuff in there, but the ending was so incredibly horrible that the rest of the film just crumbles beneath it. So, but if you like body horror, if you just like, Demi Moore, or if you want to support women in film, that's what really this is. This is showing what women go through in Hollywood as they get older. I don't know. I think everybody kind of goes through especially in everybody's head about aging. That's really what this is about. This is about the fear of aging and becoming irrelevant. That's what really this is about. I think Hollywood is just a backdrop for it. But yeah, that's basically what this movie's about. It's all about your fear of aging, people's fear of aging and becoming irrelevant due to that aging process, and being replaced by somebody younger. Because of course, even though she was the same person, she was actually jealous of her younger self. So it was almost like the odd couple in this different bodies. I don't know. You have to see it. It's hard for me to even explain. I couldn't even go into spoilers because it's hard for me to even explain the film without going through scene by scene. Anyway, that's it for me. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm probably going to give it like a 5.5 or a 6. I didn't think it was great. It's a soft recommend for me. Basically because of the actresses that are involved. So, all right, well, let me know what you guys think. Did you see it? Are you going to go see it? Is it even playing anywhere around you? I don't know. Anyway, check out some other videos as well. And remember to like and subscribe if you can. Please ring the bell, ding, ding. I am trying to grow the channel out. And remember, too, that the description below has the link for Kickstarter. We are going to be launching in just a few more days. So definitely check out Mythlords, where you can play as your favorite classic monster with your Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, and the creature from the deep. It's good stuff. And you're building your monster army, and you're fighting over locations like the Mummy's Tomb, things like that. And like I said, it comes with, here's the Frankenstein one. It's got some really good stuff. All right. Anyway, thank you again for watching all the way through, and I will see you on the next one. And remember to have a great week. All right, bye-bye.